Hello Flosstube, welcome to my channel, Home Sweet Home Handmade. I'm Natalie and today it's Friday the 13th, I hope it's not unlucky for you, of May 2025. So I'm going to do a Flosstube Extra Q&A session this morning. I'm just going to have a little drink. If you haven't already done so, grab yourself a cuppa. So I asked on Instagram and on a YouTube video and post for some questions. So we've got a varied amount of questions, and if you're watching this and you thought, oh, I should have asked this, or forgot to pop it in the comments of my video, just leave it in the comment of this video and I'll answer it on my next regular Flosstube. So my channel is about my love of cross stitch and the projects I've been working on, and also I share a bit of kitty content as well with my two ragdolls, Percy and Simon. So as I said, today it's Flosstube Extra. So we've got a few questions and it is a little bit hot today. It's going to be, I think, well, they said late 20s, maybe 30 today. So I'm sorry if I look a bit sweaty, but right, let's crack on, shall we? So the first one I'll answer is from my sister Emily, who is stitching from Gnome Cottage on Instagram, and I'll put a link to her Instagram below in the description box. And I will try and persuade her to do another Flosstube episode soon, probably back end of the summer or something like that. But she asked, what is your unicorn chart or kit? Well, I've got 3 charts, 1 kit. The kit is a dimensions, and it's the Parisian bicycle. And I'll put pictures of the kit and charts that I mentioned here. Now, I first saw this on Lara I Stitch Birds, and I think she's going to be doing using this whip for her Tour de France stitching challenge, and it's lovely. I just love it. I've been searching for it because I think it's a discontinued kit, but I haven't found it for a reasonable price, so I'm still looking out for that. So I've got my notes if I keep looking down here. One of the charts is a Blackbird Designs, and I know this is out of print, and it's a Christmas one. It's called Merry Christmas Eleanor Vaughan, and it's just lovely. And I've got 2 Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread charts as well, and they're both Christmas ones as well. So the first one is Miss Snow Fairy, very cute, and the other one is Woodland Frosty. I think those are both earlier designs of hers. So yeah, so Parisian bicycle, and then the 3 Christmas charts. I'm sure there'll be loads of others as well, but Excuse me, I'll have to take regular drinks because it's so warm. So that, yeah, they're my current unicorns, and if you see them, just drop me a direct message on Instagram, where I'm also Home Sweet Home Handmade, and just let me know if you see them on eBay or somewhere like that. So my lovely friend Amy from Amy Loves Toads, she asked, will you be coming back to the US again? And my answer to that is yes, definitely. Probably not this year, because we are hoping to move. We've currently got our little cottage here up for sale, and we would like to move just to have some more space and a bit more outside space. So we hadn't planned to come this year, but maybe next year, you never know. And alongside that, my lovely friend Wendy asked, will you be coming to Northern Ireland again? And that is a definite as well. There's just so many places I want to visit, but not enough time, not enough money, unfortunately. But yeah, we'd love to come back to Northern Ireland. I've been there many times. I've been to Southern Ireland as well. But particularly where Wendy lives, it's beautiful up there, and I'll talk a bit more about Wendy in a bit. So yes, ladies, we are planning to come back to the US and also Northern Ireland. There's so many places in the US that I'd love to go. Two of my particular favourites that I would definitely like to visit one day is, I'd like to go to the Pacific Northwest, so that is Oregon and Washington State on the west. Particularly Portland, really like to go there, and Florence on the Oregon coast. I've already been to New York, which was great. And the other place is, I would really, really like to go to North Carolina. If you've ever seen the film where the crawdads sing there, so the Outer Banks of North Carolina, that would be a definite. So yeah, definitely places within the US I'd like to visit. So looking down my list, Laurie, hello Laurie, she asked, when did you first start to cross stitch? So going back to my lovely friend Wendy, Wendy actually taught me to cross stitch, and I've been racking my brains to think exactly when that was, because me and Wendy started our nurse training together in 1993 in York. I'm thinking it was after then, so I'm thinking possibly 96, 97, something like that. If you're watching this, Wendy, can you think when it was? I think it was around about then. And I loved it. And I dabbled a bit, and then I think it was probably just before lockdown, or at least 2019, that when I found Flosstube, and it was just so enabling and inspiring, and I never knew about hand-dyed threads, and I didn't know about the American charts. I found Patchwork Rabbit here in the UK, and it just, I think that might have been 2018 actually, so that just opened up a door. I went down a rabbit hole, and it's been my main hobby ever since. So thank you, Wendy, for teaching me. So I am a Ada stitcher. I might try linen one day, but I particularly like Ada, and I stitch in hand. I have tried this Q-snap and an embroidery hoop, but I just can't get on with them. So I do stitch in hand, and I am a big believer, I think I've said it on here before, that it's your hobby and you should stitch on whatever you like. You know, don't feel pressurised into stitching on a certain fabric with a certain thread and stitching certain charts. Just stitch whatever you love. It's your hobby, and everybody's different. So, and Laurie also asked, did you and your sister learn together? Well, obviously I learned first from Wendy, and then I taught Emily, and I think it was the year 2000, because I remember she stitched a little birth sampler, a little tiny one for our nephew, and it was a little teddy in a bath. Is that right, Em? I think it is, isn't it? 2000. But although I taught her, she does her stitches different to me. Bear with me while I try and explain this. So I always start off my crosses from bottom right, and then my top leg goes bottom left, like that. Whereas the sort of, I guess, main way is people start bottom left and then go like that. So I taught her, but I do it completely different to how she does it. She stitches mostly on linen. She did teach me how to do a loop start, so we have shared skills. And I would say we've got both of us have got quite a distinctive style. I like quite sort of whimsical things. Obviously a lot of cat stitching, and animals in clothes as well seem to be my thing. I also really enjoy, I'm stitching a geisha, which is going to come out again soon. So I do sort of like fancy ladies, but I wouldn't really stitch like the big fairies and things like that. And then Em, she loves long dogs, and I don't know, I can't describe it really. She's had some amazing finishes, which when we next see her on here, I will get her to pull out of her finish box. She did show some before, but she's got some other finishes, so I will let her show those. So yeah, so we're both, I feel very fortunate that I've got a sister who I'm very close to, but we also share the same hobby. And Emily's my younger sister, and there's 9 years between us, just in case you were wondering. And where are we going next? So Kim, hello Kim, she asked, do you have a favourite Ada? Because she finds some Adas can be quite stiff. And yeah, I do find that the ones that I'm particularly drawn to are, I really like sparklies. I'm not sure if they've got a website. I've bought their Ada from the knitting and stitching show in Harrogate when I went with my sister for the last 2 years. I had particular projects in mind and bought the fabric for those projects, so I really like their Ada. Picture This Plus, I love the colours, but I find that the Ada is just too soft and floppy for me. So I don't like it really stiff, and I don't like it really floppy. So I will guess my favourites are sparklies. Fabric Flare is a really good choice as well. You can get Fabric Flare from Lakeside Needlecraft as well. And then River Hut Designs. on Etsy, and they do have their own website as well. So that's sort of giving you some choices. And also pole stitches. They have some really lovely hand-dyed Aidas on their website, and I did have a new start last night using quite an amazing fabric called angel wings, which I will show in my next regular floss tube. And I'm stitching a soda stitch, I think that's what you call them, yeah, soda stitch, and it's called Sewing Cats. I've never stitched on a soda stitch before, so the chart is enormous. So yeah, I'll be really happy to show you that next time. The fabric is, I think it's the most brightest coloured fabric I've ever stitched on, and that's from Pole Stitches. So yeah, another, I guess if you have got a particularly stiff piece of Aida and it isn't hand dyed, you could wash it just to you know, make it a little bit softer. But if it's a hand dyed one, it might not be colour fast, so just be careful with that. She also, Kim asked, what are your favourite needles? I've tried a lot of different needles in my time, but the ones that I always seem to go back to are tulip. And I'll put a picture in here of how they come. They come in a little plastic, it looks like a little test tube, and then in a yellow box. I've bought mine before from 𝐦𝐨𝐬𝐿, which is a online fabric shop here in the UK, and she has some amazing fabrics if you're looking for backing fabric. So I will put a link below to that shop online. Yeah, they do tend to go out of stock, so if I see somewhere that's stocking them, I might get just a couple of sort of packets, and they come in one size or then a variety of sizes. So, but I just love them. But then at Christmas, Emily put in my advent, she put some pony black needles as well, and I really like them. So they are like black needles with the eye is white, so I really like those. So tulip, which I believe they're Japanese, and pony black. And Kim also asks, what's your favourite piece you've ever stitched? That is a tough question. I've done a lot of gift stitching, which, you know, obviously I've given away gifts. That is a particular favourite. I'll put in a little video here. That I think is I think it's Beach Hut Stitchery or something. I'll put it in the description box. So I had some quite major surgery in 2016, and I foolishly thought, oh, I'll take a cross stitch project in with me, and I can do that while I was in there. But I was too unwell and quite heavily medicated, so actually Emily started that, and then I finished it. And I just really love it. I mean, you can see on there that I have travelled with my threads, which I did learn with that, but I don't know, I just love it. And I've got it's a silver mount, so that is a favourite. And then the other one, which I've actually got in the kitchen above the door frame, is a bent creek, and I think it's 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐞. So I changed the colour of two of the cats. One of them I put Miss Betsy's colours, and if you're a long time viewer, you know hot you'll know Miss Betsy from previous videos. So I put her colouring in. And then a lady that I visit, she has got a British short hair called Truffle, who is chocolate brown. So I changed one of the cats. So I really love that piece. And then another favourite, which I can't show you a photo of, is Primrose Cottage's Hive Rules. And I'm actually going to take that to the framers. So that will be a favourite. So yeah, I think I've got quite a few that I've given to Emily that I really enjoyed stitching as well. But definitely the Kitty Row, the Bent Creek, and that one as well. Right, I've got quite a few questions from Leslie. She says, are you still involved in nursing? And no, I'm not involved in nursing. As I said, I did my nurse training in York alongside Wendy. I did mental health nurse training, and I qualified, and then I worked briefly in Germany, on the outskirts of London, back here in Lincolnshire, and I absolutely loved it. But I was finding that the shift work was getting a bit too much, and it was quite a draining, challenging role, although I did love it. And I decided, when I met my hubby and moved to Norfolk at that time, I decided to go down a different career path. So I chose to work in the voluntary sector, and at that time I worked for a charity as a manager of a day centre for women with mental health issues. So although I'm not directly involved in nursing, I still am in some capacity involved in supporting people. So my current role is I've got the title of Life Connector, and I support people that are experiencing loneliness and isolation, and I do have quite a few clients that have mental health issues as well. So although I'm not involved in the clinical side of nursing, I'm still in that sort of supporting role. That was very long-winded. And she also asked, what does hubby do? So although we live in Lincolnshire now, Greg he works for Norfolk County Council for Adult Social Services. So he works as a integrated care coordinator. So he has responsibility of some GP surgeries, and he sort of liaises between health and social care. It's quite an involved role, and he's actually in Norfolk today, which is why I'm filming this. So yes, we're both sort of in caring roles. We both do voluntary work as well. Greg has just signed up and done his training for the Lincolnshire Notts Air Ambulance, and I volunteer as a letter friend through a charity called 𝐦𝐨𝐫𝐞, which are based in Shropshire, and I'm matched with two elderly ladies and I write letters to them. If you want to know anything more about that, just ask me in the comments and I can direct you to their website. She also asked, do you have any other craft hobbies? So cross stitch is my main hobby. I do a little bit of knitting. I wouldn't say I'm great at it. I'd like to be better. I like the thought of embroidery, and I'd like to, I can do a bit, but I'd like to better my skills. I've done a little bit of English paper piecing, and I'm also getting into the Japanese I don't know how you pronounce it. Is it 𝐥𝐤𝐬𝐿? It's the sort of running thread. So yeah, a lot of sewing hobbies, but mostly cross stitch. I also am a huge fan of stationery. I just love stationery, and I was absolutely gutted when Paperchase shut down here in the UK. I love writing, anything to do with writing. I like drawing, so also all creative things. And I also like reading, big reader as well. Anything else that I like to do? No, just being creative really. And they are quite hobbies that you do on your own, so that was part of the reason, although I do stitch with Emily, part of the reason why I decided to set up the stitching group in my local library here, Lincolnshire Wold Stitchers, just to bring together people who have a love of cross stitch, and I love it every month. You know, we have such a wide range of people that come stitching on some amazing things, and it's just lovely to be around other people who stitch, because it is very a hobby that you do on your own. So I hope that answers that. And she also asked Leslie, what skincare do you use? So I brought it to show you. This isn't an ad, I'm not being sponsored. This is what I'm currently using, and it can change depending on what's on offer. If I get anything in like a beauty box or something for Christmas. But one thing I have learned that I wasn't always really good at when I was younger is making sure I take my makeup off and sort of cleanse, tone and moisturise. So for my cleanser at the moment, I just use a bog standard baby lotion, just, you know, Johnson's. I think the one at the moment I've got is a 𝐥𝐤𝐬𝐷 one, so I just use that. And I'm using this 𝐦𝐨𝐬𝐤𝐞 Instant Boost Skin Tonic. So I use that after cleansing. I also use this as well, which I was using the 𝐦𝐨𝐬𝐤𝐞 one because I got it in a gift box, but I found this one from Superdrug, which is just as good and a lot cheaper. So it's a hot cloth cleanser from Superdrug range. So I tend to use that every morning when I'm in the shower, and then once or twice a week I will use the 𝐦𝐨𝐤𝐤 Gentle Face Exfoliator. But I also like that, it's a really oldie one, that is it the apricot shell cleanser? You know the one I mean. But I use that as well, and a little goes a long way. So they're like my cleanser type things. Then for moisturising, it's whatever is on offer. But I'm using this one at the moment because this came in a beauty box, and it's the Clinique Moisture Surge SPF 25. So I'm liking that one. And then I'm using this one, and this one really is for like extra mature skin, but I really love it. And it's the L'Oreal Age Perfect Golden Age, and I think it's got that's the colour of it. It's got rose or something in it, but I think this is like for women with skin of like 50s. Well, I am 50, like in their 60s, but I love this. So yeah, so moisturiser is whatever is on offer. I have a particular favourite for hand cream, which is the Clarin's hand and nail treatment. I love that, and I love the smell of it. And then at night, at the moment, I'm using 𝐦𝐨𝐬𝐿 Youth Activating Concentrate. So to use it, you press it down at the top, and then it comes in a little pipette, and you need a tiny amount. So I'm using that at the moment. I just tend, as I said, I just tend to get things that are on offer, that I can get a good deal at, or my sister bought me a Boots beauty box for Christmas, which was brilliant. So there might be things in there as well. And then for an eye serum, because the boys get a lot of poor night's sleep, I'm using this eye serum, The Ordinary, at the moment. So this one also is a pipette, and you need a tiny amount of that. So that is my current skincare regime. Nothing really special. It's just like cleanse, tone, moisturise, and also do the skin exfoliator. And then I do like to do a face mask as well, and I will pick them up in Superdrug as well. So probably, I don't know, once every fortnight I'll do a skin mask. So yeah, so that's my skincare regime. I didn't think I'll be talking about beauty projects or skincare products on here. So I think that is all the questions. Let me just check my little list. Yeah, I think that's everything. Yeah. So as I say, while you've been watching this, if you've thought of a question, just pop it in the comments and I'll answer it on my next regular Flosstube. I'm hoping to film that either next Friday or next Sunday morning, so in a week's time. I'm also planning to do another Flosstube Extra, my plans for Christmas in July stitching, so that's going to be coming up as well. So thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. It was a little bit random, wasn't it, with skincare and talking about jobs and things, but it mixes it up a little bit, doesn't it? And also you get to know a little bit more about me, don't you? So thank you so much for watching, and please give me a thumbs up. And if you're new here, I'd really appreciate that you'd be a subscriber. I have a few new subscribers, and welcome to you. And if you're a long-time viewer like Susan, Laurie, Elizabeth, thank you so much for coming back and always commenting, and I get the most loveliest comments, which I do always read, heart, and reply back to. And I just hope that the sound is okay, and apologies again for the horrible pesky adverts. They do help. I am still under risk of redundancy, so every little helps. But yeah, and if they're annoying you, just skip them. You know, you don't have to sit and watch, but if you do, that'd be great. Just turn the volume off as well, mute them. So until next weekend, stay cool if you're here in the UK, and if you're in the southern hemisphere, stay warm. Enjoy your stitching, and goodbye until next week. Take care, everyone. Bye.